Okay, so I assume that we all have our pivot tables and our charts, our pivot charts created, and we have names on each sheet, and all our charts have all the properties. So that's what I want to assume. So the next thing, so it's a procedure. That's why I want us all to be on the same page. So like I said, we start from the pivot table, then from the pivot chart. So the next thing that we're going to learn today is dashboards. So we're going to learn about dashboards today. So before I actually explain what dashboards are, maybe who has ever heard about the dashboards, or maybe has used dashboards in Excel? Polycarp, what do you think dashboards are? So as we wait for Polycarp, maybe John, have you ever interacted with the dashboards? Or maybe you have a clue of what dashboards are? Okay. So Excel aside, let's go to the dashboards that we know. The car's dashboard. What does it normally have? What does the dashboard, the car's dashboard have? So basically, the car's dashboard have literally everything that relates to a car presented. So that's why you're able to see everything that relates to your car being seen. For example, it's on the dashboard that you're going to know whether your car has a problem or not. Why? You're going to check on the check engine. So if you see the check engine light, maybe it tries to communicate to you something, that there's a problem with your engine. Then still on the dashboard, if you want to know the levels of oil, it's presented on that dashboard. If you want to know the speed you're moving it, the speed is presented at the dashboard. If you want to know the state of the car, whether it's in motion or whether it's neutral, whether it's on reverse, you can see that from the dashboard. All right. So it's a center whereby everything that has to do with that car is presented. I can see Polika says about this, the music, actually still the music and all that seen on the dashboard. So it basically connects everything on that car and presents to you in form of graphics. So ukiona kale kata, unajua in your check engine, that graphic. If you see oil, you know very well that maybe this is the oil level. Maybe I need to add a little more. So let's now go back to Excel and relate it with that. So basically, dashboard tries to connect the graphics, or rather in this case, the charts. It connects the charts, or rather the charts. So that's whereby you're going to see how one thing affects the other, okay? Not the pivot table. We use the pivot tables to come up with pivot charts. And now from the pivot charts, we're going to move them and connect all the charts that we have and see how maybe one thing affects the other, or how one thing relates to the other. But we're going to have all the charts at a central point, so that in case there's a change in one thing, we'll be able to see how that changes, or rather affect the other thing. So you'll go to your this file. So at the moment, I assume that we are all having all the pivot charts. So I want us to create another sheet. So we're going to create a sheet, and taking it back, for you to create a sheet, you're going to click on this plus sign here. and then a sheet will be added. Like in this case, mine is sheet number 7. So the sheet that you've just added, because we don't want it to be called just sheet number 7, I want us to call that sheet dashboard. Just call that sheet dashboard, so that we know it's here that we're going to do all the connection of the charts. So I want you to create a sheet, and then after creating that sheet, just give it a name dashboard. Are we there? Once you have your dashboard sheet, the next thing you're going to do is you'll come to your very first chart, and that was on the sales per product sheet. On the sales per product sheet, so I expect you to be on that sheet. This is the sheet that I'm talking about. So what you're going to do, you're going to start now moving these charts to the sheet called dashboards, all these charts that we've been creating. So I'll come to this chart on the sales per product. So if I click in here, I can see that we have 2 sections. There's this inner section and then there's this outer section. So whenever you want to move your charts, you don't do it from here. Make sure that your cursor is on the outer region, and then you're going to right click on this outer region. And once you right click, you're going to get prompted, and then you're going to select move chart. So I'll click on move chart, and then I get this prompt. Again, inakwambia that object in sales per product. This object, I mean, this chart is in sales per product sheet. That's why you're seeing object in sales per product. But then we want this object to be in dashboard. That means we want to move this object from this point to the dashboard sheet. So you'll click on this drop down. If you click on that drop down, you'll be able to see the several sheets that you have, and then make sure that you're selecting the sheet that you want to move your sheet to, your chart to, sorry. So I'll click on this dashboard because that's where I want to move my sheet to, and then I'll proceed and say, okay. As you can see, the sheet, rather the chart that I had on the sales per product has been moved to the dashboard. So what you'll be doing, because you're going to move all those charts, we are going to resize and make this chart a little bit smaller so that they're able, we are able to fit all of them in this sheet. So there are 6, are these 6, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 points of resizing these charts. But then I actually advise that you do it from the corners. Don't adjust from this end or from the sides. Do it from either this corner or the upper corners. So I'll come here and left click, and then I'm gonna drag it like that, make it a little bit not too small like that, and then I'll take it here. So I'll arrange all these sheets nicely so that I'm able to see all these charts. So that is my first chart. So if I come back to the sales by product, I no longer have that chart here because I've moved it to the dashboard sheet. Then I'll go to my second sheet that had the sales per salesperson. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. I want to move this chart. So if I click in here, I make sure that I'm not moving from here. I'll take my cursor on the outermost region, and then I'll right click, and then I'll go to move charts, and then object in. Where are we going to move this object to? We want to move it to the dashboard. Then I'll proceed and say, okay. Again, that chart has been moved to the dashboard. So I'll make sure that it doesn't cover my other chart. And then I'll make sure that I've resized it. Remember, I have 4 charts and they all have to fit. They have to fit in here. So that's why I'm doing the resizing. Then I'll go to my sales per year. I'll click it here. So if you right click from here, you're not going to have that options. That's why I'm insisting you do it from here, whereby you're going to have the option for moving the chart. So I'll click on move chart. I'm moving it again on the dashboard, and then I'll say okay. I'll drag it somewhere here, and then I'm gonna resize it like that. And then lastly, I have sales per region. I'll do the same thing. Move charts. I'll move it on the dashboard. I'll say okay. I can resize first before moving, and then I'll take it up there. So at the moment, as you can see, I have all my charts presented up there. Trying to make them all same size. So I've arranged them nicely up there. So make sure that you make them quite small, because we're going to add some few things down here. So make sure that you have some space down here. So make them a little bit small, and then arrange them nicely such that they follow each other in this order. But again, the order really doesn't matter. As long as you just move them, resize them, and arrange them nicely, then you're good to go. Are we done? Or maybe I can give you some 2 minutes to finish up. Tumemaliza. So just use very less time to do that, and then we can proceed to the next thing. Okay, KD is already done. Giving you 2 minutes, then we can proceed. Are we done? Brenda, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Esther, And have Casilla. Are we done?
Then
Okay. So after having moved the charts to the dashboard sheets, so we want to remember the only thing that we've just done is moving the charts. These charts are not yet connected, so we want to connect these charts. So what you do, ensure that you've clicked on any chart, any. You can click on sales per year, you can click on sales per region, you can click on sales per product, but make sure that you are on any. Then after clicking on any, remember when you are creating the charts, if you want to create a chart from your pivot table, you first click on some values in the pivot table. That is to tell the software that use these values to create me whatever that I want. So in this sense, the essence of clicking on the chart is that we want to do something with the information that was used to create these charts. So while creating these charts, we use the same information, that is the data. So if I click on any chart, that means it will give me the information that I want. So after clicking on the chart, you'll go to Analyze, go to Analyze tab up here, and then there's a ribbon called Insert Slicer. We have a ribbon called Insert Slicer. I want you to click on that ribbon like that. And then you get prompted. So these are the specific things or the specific headings that we had on the data. We had the customer, we had the products, we had the sales person, the region, order date, all the way up to channel partner. But remember, at this time, we only have just 4 charts. So what I want us to do, I want us to check customer because we have a chart that deals with customer. I also want us to click on the products, and then we'll click on sales per region, sales per person, salesperson, then click on the region, and then you'll click on so you'll skip the order dates because we don't have any chart that has the order dates. And then you'll click on sales USD, check that box. And then we have here, I think that's all we're going to click. So we click on the customer, product, salesperson, region, skip order date. Don't click on order date. And then click on sales in USD and then year. So again, there's no harm you clicking on these are the ones that we did not use. But then remember, these slices are going to be placed somewhere here. So if they become too many and maybe some of them you're not going to use them, then you might lack some space. So use what you need. That's why you're selecting some specific slices. And then you'll proceed and say, okay, like that. So the next thing that I want us to do, I want us now to arrange these slices such that you're able to see each slicer individually. That means I'll come to this customer. If I want to drag a slicer, I do it from up here, this space. I left click and I drag like that. So I'm able to see my customer and all the customers that are here. I'll go to the product. I will take the product to that place. Salesperson, I'll drag it there here. Maybe I'm gonna drag it to this end. So I have all the slices arranged, and at least I can see all these slices. So make sure that they don't overlap. So have your slices and then make sure that you arrange them nicely such that they are not overlapping. And then the next thing, so this is how I want all the slices to be. You should, both these areas should be gray in color. Like if you look at my salesperson, this one is red. That means it contains some filter. So for you to remove such that you have them as clean, just click on it and then it will turn gray. So that means all these slices have no filters. The next thing, now I'm going to use these slicers to connect. So I'm going to connect the first slicer, that is the customer, to my pivot tables. Remember, I started from my pivot tables to come up to charts. Then from charts, I'm now on the dashboard. So I'll click on my first slicer, that is the customer. Ensure that my cursor is here in this region. And then I will right click. After right clicking, I'll go to report connection. I will click on report connection, and then I'm going to connect this slicer to all these pivot table. So I'll check this, this is the pivot table containing the sales per product. I'll check this one containing the sales per region and sales per. Yeah, I think my sales per salesperson was selected by default, and then I'll say okay. So only this one slicer is connected to the 4 pivot tables that were used to create these charts. Then I'll move to my next slicer. I'll ensure that my cursor is in between here. I will left click, and then I'll go to report connection, and then I'll check again the boxes like that. So again, this slicer is connected to my 4 pivot tables. Which by default, it's connected to the 4 pivot charts. Then I'll go to the third one. So the drill is the same. Go to report connection, check this box. So I want you to do the same thing to the last slicer. So at the moment now we are connecting. Like that. So make sure that you've connected all the slicers to the pivot table. If you're not sure, because there's nothing much that is happening on the screen, actually you cannot see, but at the background of the computer, something is happening. So for example, if I'm not sure if my salesperson slicer is connected, I can just come here and check. Right click, go to report connection, but then these boxes are checked. That means that this slicer is okay, or rather it's connected. So make sure that all these slicers are connected to all the pivot tables that we have. So I'm going to give you again like 2 minutes to connect. And then once you're done, kindly chat me on the chat box. You can see Matthew is done. Okay, Polycarp, I think most of you are done. So let's proceed. Now that most of us are done. So I want us to look at my screen. Or maybe actually just do it from your end. Huh? Do it from your end as well. I want you to click on Europe, on the slicer region. I want you to click on Europe. I want you to click on Europe. So I want you to give me the observations that you're seeing from your end. And if you unmute your mic as you maybe talk to us, I'll appreciate that. So if you click on the Europe under region, what are you seeing? Let's hear from Lorraine. What are you seeing?
There is a way the pivot tables are rearranging themselves, but I don't know what is changing exactly.
Okay, that's a good observation. Claire, I think I'll make all of us talk in this class. Tusimalize kama hakuna mtu hajaongea. Claire, what are you seeing from your end?
Am I right clicking or
Just yes,
seeing something?
just click. Not right necessarily right clicking. Just click on Europe. Huh?
Yeah.
Are you seeing something?
No.
Have you connected the slices?
Yeah. I'm seeing a prompt, cut, copy, sort A to Z,
No,
something
I
like
don't want
that.
you to right click. I just want you to click. See? Like this. Nikikuja kwa Asia, I just click there. I come to Europe, I click on Europe. That's what I want us to do, not right clicking.
Yeah, something is changing on the slicers.
Okay, sawa. What exactly is changing on the slicer?
I can't explain the color. Inakuwa light, zingine bado ni dark.
Okay. So let me give an explanation. But before I give an explanation, let's change and click on America. Just click on America. So if you click on America, so this is what I want you to observe. As you click on America, I want you to look at the, actually, if you click on the region, I want you to look at the salesperson slicer and the customer's slicer. So the three are the only ones which are changing, huh? Or rather the two. If you click on the region, the salesperson and the customer's slicers are changing higher. So for you to remove the filter, if you click on something here, that means you're filtering something. Huh? So I want you to remove the filter on the region. As you can see, there's a red thing up here and the rest are gray in color. So if you want to remove and take it back to how it was initially, so just click on this red part, or rather on this icon. Then if I click it like that, it disappears and the slices are back to how they were, including the charts. So since we at the moment, we know very well that customer and salesperson in region, they are sort of connected directly. That's why if you click on one thing on either customer or the salesperson or region, it affects the others. So on the salesperson, maybe if you can click on E and write, if you click on E and write, by default, there's something being selected on the region. na kuna kitu inakuwa selected on the customer. If I change and click on, say, John, if I click on John, there's a different customer selected, and then the region is different. Asia becomes active. So I want to give an explanation to this before we go any further. So let me relate it to or create a scenario. I want this session to be interactive so that we understand very well. Where is Coca-Cola company based? The mother company, the Coca-Cola company, where it's based. Coca-Cola ni wapi? Hello guys. Where is Coca-Cola company based? Okay. Honestly. Okay, thank you, Njeri. Coca-Cola is based in US. And Coca-Cola company deals with a lot of products. So, in as much as Coca-Cola company is based in US, us in Africa or other guys in Asia and in Europe, those are different regions. They also enjoy the Coca-Cola products from their various regions. Okay, so Coca-Cola company being based in US, it has to do some distribution to various regions, but then it doesn't supply directly to those regions such that Coca-Cola company has supplied directly to Africa. It has its own agents who supply its products in Africa. So it's sort of a long chain. Maybe ikifika Africa, again, there are some other chains in Africa, whereby again, there are some certain individuals who now distribute this product to specific countries. But let's talk in terms of regions. So this is what normally happens in real world. And with this example of Coca-Cola, let's say that Coca-Cola company deals with the 4 products that we have. These are the products. Coca-Cola company in a deal now, bottles, of course, it has to have bottles as one of the products whereby it normally does their packaging. Many deals with ice cubes, and then it has soft drinks, and then it has tonic. But then for it to distribute its products to these regions, these 4 regions, that is Africa, of course, America, its homeland, and then we have Asia and Europe. It normally invites, supply in Africa, it will invite companies from Africa to bid for a tender. And then the company that will win will be given that tender to supply Coca-Cola products to Africa. Sawa sawa. So that's why if you click on Africa, on the customer, Gin on the Run is active. Gin on the Run is the company that was awarded the tender to supply Africa with the Coca-Cola products. So this company becomes customer to Coca-Cola. That's why you're seeing the customers here. The second thing is the salesperson. Remember, these are the companies that have been awarded the tender to supply the products. Of course, they have to be heard by someone. In this case, let's say that that person is the CEO of that company that has been given tender to supply the products. So that person by default becomes the main salesperson of Coca-Cola products under the company specifically, which is Gin on the Run, responsible in supplying its products to Africa. That's why easy vitu tatu, if you click on any of these slices, if you click on anything, it affects the other 2. If I click on, let me remove this filter. If I click on Mojitos, like Mojitos here, which is a company, inaniambia automatically, Mojitos is a company in Europe that was, or rather that is responsible in supplying Coca-Cola products in Europe. And the person heading this company, who is the main salesperson, is Mr. Ian Wright. So if that's why, so I want us to see at the moment, my customer slicer, Mojitos is active. And that's why up here, the salesperson, who is Ian Wright, in Anambia, Ian Wright is the main salesperson in this region. And he made a sales of 80,71,721. These were the total sales that were made. And of course, in the year 2012, 2013, and 2014. And the region that is active is Europe. But if I want to be more specific and say, I want to know this, so let me first, so once you're done, remember at this time, as you're observing these changes, of course, you are writing a report somewhere. So let me remove the filter. So maybe if I want to be specific and say, I want to know the specific soft drinks. So at the moment, I'm becoming more specific with the products, not all the products. I want to know the specific soft drinks. So I'll click on soft drinks that were sold in Asia. By default, it tells me the salesperson for that region and the customer responsible, and maybe in the year 2014. So this one becomes a bit specific. Nataka kujua the specific drink, the specific product, that is the soft drink, that the sales that were made in Asia, and then in the year 2014. So I can comfortably say that this is the sales per products chart, and the specific product that I said, or rather I'm interested in, is the soft drinks. And the sales were 69.51.95. The salesperson who is in charge of Asia is John. And then, of course, I've specified the year. And then the region is Asia. Sawa sawa. But again, if you want to select, to do multiple select, maybe you want to know the specific products, that is the soft drinks and let's say bottles. So what you do, so you don't filter out here, you come here. So if you actually just point at it in a multi-select, so click on it and ensure that it becomes yellow in color. So this one allows you to do a multiple select. So if I want to do, of course, soft drinks is selected, then I'm going to do, I want to know how much of soft drinks and bottles. So I'll click on bottles. And as you can see, I've selected the bottles and the soft drinks that were sold maybe in Asia and Africa. So I'm going to make this a multi-select and say in Africa in the year 2012, 2013, and 2014. So I can just click there and say 2012 and 2013, and of course 2014 is selected by default. So if you look at the products chart, we have just the bottles and the soft drinks that we selected. The salesperson for these two regions, Africa and Asia, is Homer Simpson and John Macharia. And then the year, nimesema, I want both, all the 2012 sales, the 2013, and the 2014 sales. And then, of course, you have the region. So you have the entire summary of all these. So it's showing you how this one is connected to this and the rest. So that's actually the essence of the dashboard. So once you get your results, make sure that you document, and at the end of the day, you're required to give a report of your findings. So first, before I proceed, I want to take questions. Any questions up to that point?
I have a question. So after having that last, the last sheet that we just did, the dashboard, if you are to create a report, are we going to learn that, or do you present this to maybe the board?
Okay, thank you, Esther. So, so basically, this is what I'm assuming. So, at the end of the day, you need to get results in exam, but you need to communicate what your results are. So, starting from the pivot table, without even going to the dashboard. Once you get your pivot table, let me go to my sales per product. This is my pivot. And actually, if you look at my pivot table, based on what I've selected on the dashboard, we have that information filtered in terms of that. Okay. So I assume that reporting may be started from your pivot table. You created your pivot table and then you had your sales per product. So I assume that you're going to write a report on that. And then maybe on the board, if someone asks you on the board, where are you getting your results from? You have to have a backup. Maybe you can open your computer and show them where you're getting your results. That is to validate your work. So on the dashboard, just a minute, let me go to the dashboard. So I assume at this point, of course, you should be having this nice summary. And that's why I keep on telling you that you need to arrange your work in such a way, mtu akiangalia, it's easy for them to interpret. So if you look, and I talked about the files, the file that you're handling, it's called what's the name? Data visualization and reporting. So after visualizing, so remember these charts are all about the visualization. At the end of the day, you need to report. So utakuja useme, actually, based on maybe what you wanted to achieve as an individual or the task that you are given by the organization, utasema this and this and this. This is how one thing affects the other. Maybe at the end of the year 2012, these were the total sales that were made by each product and all that. So you can say maybe in the year 2012, let's see, for example, so let me remove this multi-select and see, like that. So I can say that these are the total. So let me remove all these. So maybe if I want to give a report, I can say that first, so this is what normally, so let me give actually a real example. Assuming that we are in a board meeting and we are the 4 salesperson. So I am maybe Homer Simpson, there's someone who is Ian Wright, there's John, and then you have Michael Jackson. So maybe the owner of Coca-Cola ataingia kwa hiyo board, being the owner of Coca-Cola, then we are answerable to our boss. Atakuja aseme, he might not really start calling names. Atasema, maybe I want to know how America performed in the year 2012. I want to know how America performed in the year 20. So atauliza tu, maybe how is America doing? So akisema tu America, you're supposed to know that you are the one is who the boss is talking about. So akisema America, I assume that immediately Michael Jackson atasema, because he should be having these results. Maybe he can say that in the year 2012, these were the sales that were made, and maybe the sales maybe increased in the year 2013, or maybe even narrow it down to specific products. Maybe say, if you look at these products, we can say that bottles are performing way much better as compared to other products. So those are kind of the report that you're supposed to come up with.
Excuse me,
yeah.
I have a question.
Just a minute.
Okay.
Esther, you answered?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, much appreciated. Brenda?
I'm looking at my tables.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing when they've come now, we have the slicer down there in the pivot tables.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing they're not showing the actual values. I'm only seeing value like 0, 1, 2. They're not showing like yours are showing the 1 million, 1.5.
Come up again.
I don't know what's wrong.
Come up again, Brenda, kindly.
The way we are seeing on your tables, like you can bring them up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
The way I can see the sales were 1 million, 2 million, and all that.
Mm.
But mine, when I select even on the total, I can't see actual values. I'm only seeing 0, 1, and 2. I don't know what's up.
So maybe
I
this
can't
could
see
be,
actual values.
so this could be the reason. Number one, when you are coming up with the pivot charts, maybe you, as you are dragging the specific things that you are dragging, or rather the variables, instead of dragging maybe a categorical variable either on the row or on the column, maybe you dragged it on the wrong place. Maybe ulieka kwa values. That could be one reason. Secondly, maybe chances are that your slicers are not connected. So those are the two main reasons as to why maybe you're not getting any results. So check on your pivot table. So just come say on your pivot table that contains, let's say, sales per product, look at how you are dragging. If you took the product on the row and then the sales on the values, that means if the variables are well dragged or well placed, I think the problem is there. If not there, then go to your slicers and ensure that they are all connected.
So thank you.
Okay, Karibu. I can see KD, you're saying multi-select tab is missing on my end. Why? Maybe the reason as to why you have a missing multi-select icon could be we are using different Excel, but if you don't have it, then I assume, so this is how to go about it. If you don't have the multi-select, that means if you don't have this, you only have this filter area. If you want to do multi-select, you just click on control. Just long press on control as you select. Like I select America and the rest. Just long press on control as you do the multi-select. So if you don't have that button, that's how you go about it. Control as you click the variables of your interest. And so Lorraine, you're asking, how do you multi-select two products? I said, if you want to multi-select, so if you don't have this icon of multi-selecting, you use control. You long press on control as you select. So I can long press on control on the product. I can select bottles, ice cube. It will select the two for me. If you have this icon next to the filter, I'll click on it, ensure that it's yellow in color. Ukiangalia, it's different from the rest. These other ones are gray. But now if you click on it, it becomes yellow. So it allows you now to do a multi-select. I can select bottles. I select, sorry about that. So before you do the multi-select, first select the first item, say bottle. So if I want to add others, then I'll go here, up here, check on this icon, and then I can select now the other variables that I want. Let me look at the last question. So Lorraine and KD, I hope you're good. Okay. Yeah. Any other question?
I have one more question. If the data has formulas, is one able to create the pivot tables, or do I have to copy paste the data without the formulas?
So which specific the tables? Do your data have the tables still?
No, I'm thinking, because if I was to get this data from the office, it will probably have what is it called? The formulas, like the data sheet. If it had formulas, am I able to analyze with the formulas, or should I remove the formulas first, then start analyzing?
So it's if the data or the file that you have has formulas, if you're sure that the formulas are correct, then you can proceed and work with them. But if it's tables, then you cannot. You have to convert the data to the normal range. But if you're sure with the functions that are used, then you can work with them. But if you're not, then do away with the functions or the formulas, and then you can just create the tables from the fresh data. Okay, any other? Any other question? So today I don't want to pump you with so much work. I just wanted us to look at the pivot, the dashboards, and maybe get to understand what and where the dashboards are normally used. And then with that information, maybe you can try and learn more about the dashboard, but make sure that you at least understand the concepts. So with that being said, I think I'll end my class for today there. And then we'll be picking it up on Wednesday. So actually, we are done with the Excel, with our Excel class. We are done with the Excel class. So on Wednesday, what we'll be doing more of what would I say? More of discussion. We'll be having more of discussion on Wednesday. Maybe trying to iron a few areas that we didn't get that well. So it will be more of revision on what we've covered. So this is our last class on Excel, and on Wednesday, let's all purpose to attend because I'll be ironing out on a few things. So otherwise, if we don't have any questions, I want to wish you a very great night, and let's continue keeping safe. Have a great night, and see you.
I have a question.
Oh, okay, Polika.
You promised to show me the macros. Maybe you can show us the class macros, how to run macros.
Okay. Umenishika mashati.
Yes.
Okay, maybe because I think our class is supposed to end at 7:30. So how about we handle macros on Wednesday?
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, so that I'm not in so much rush.
Okay.
So
on
Wednesday we'll just be doing revision, then we can slot in the macros in there.
And then
Yes.
Those Excel sheets.
Polycarp, you're breaking. I can't get you.
I was reading the Excel notes that came with the Excel package. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm not getting it.
Yeah, I was reading the Excel notes that came with the Excel notes. I saw a formula called concatenation. We haven't covered it.
Yes, that's one of the things that I will actually again be talking about on Wednesday. But concatenate is just to bring together. Kuleta pamoja. This one is for string variables. Huh? So if you want to bring, let's say, let me create something here and then I'll delete. Maybe just watch my screen. Huh?
Okay.
So for example, if I have, say, names, so I have first name. My first name is Zipporah. Then my last name is Macharia. Then let's say Polycarp. What's your name now that you're
Polycarp?
Like that.
Yes.
Polycarp who?
Owor.
Polycarp Owor. And then lastly let's have I think there's Matthew. Matthew Nani. Matthew, what's your other name?
Kemei.
Oh, Matthew Kemei. Let me increase on a little bit. So if I want to bring now, so maybe what wameandika majina yao, and you have a column, first column whereby you're supposed to write your first name, then the second column you're supposed to insert your second name, and then here you're supposed to combine the two names, maybe say Zippy and Macharia to be one name. You use concatenate. Like I said, concatenate is a function that is used to bring two string variables together. So I'll just say equal sign. Then I think my concatenate is not active. So you can just use concat. Like in my case, use the first one. But if yours is active concatenate, then you can use this concatenate. It's more or less the same. So I'll click on my concat, and then inakwambia text 1, and then dot, dot, dot. We said when you see those dot, 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 it simply means text 2, text 3, all the way up to the text that you want to combine. So I want to combine this one being my first text, and then I'll put a comma, and then this one being my second text, and then I'll say enter. So it has brought together Zippy, Macharia. But maybe staki zikuje Zippy, Macharia kama zimeshikana. I want maybe to have a space in between. So if you want to have a space in between, instead of just having text 1 and text 2 combined, you can just say equal sign, concat, and then this is my first text, Zippy. And then before I go to my next text, I'll put speech marks. I open the speech mark and then dash, and then close the speech mark. Inside the dash,